Welcome back. I'm going to help another one of my squad mates, and next up is Tali. The Migrant Fleet's Admiralty Board has charged Tali with treason. She must travel to the flotilla to answer these charges. And I do wonder what that is about. Must be some kind of mistake. I don't believe Tali would betray anyone, much less her own people. So we'd better go there, get to the bottom of this. This is actually the planet we just saved by stopping the crashing ship. Jonas, a methane ammonia ice giant, is being developed as a fuel depot serving the Pylos cluster. Eldfell Ashland Energy has established a base on one of its moons to crack water ice into hydrogen and oxygen and skim helium-free from its atmosphere. Jonas is also believed to be an extrasolar planet captured by its star. From orbit, Normandy's sensors can pick out a hand-painted sign some waggish employee has left outside the complex. Last chance fuel for 100 light years. Somebody there has a sense of humor. A bad sense of humor, but sense of humor nonetheless. I'm just gonna mark these two planets visited. We'll leave the rest of this of the cluster be for the time being. Should replenish some fuel while I'm at it. And it seems we must go to the Valhallan Threshold, which is where the Migrant Fleet is presently located. This is among those kinds of things that I really like, because, well, you know, we already knew about the Quarians from the previous game, and they have quite a fascinating culture. So getting to learn more about them and actually getting to see the Migrant Fleet was something that I found quite interesting. Same as with going to Chanka later. Learn more about the Krogan there. Getting to see their home. Interesting arrangement. Two stars in such close proximity. The Migrant Fleet. A fleet of 50,000 craft holding over 17 million Quarians. The Migrant Fleet is the largest array of spacefaring vessels in the known galaxy. Though Quarians on pilgrimage have visited most settled worlds in the galaxy, few outsiders have ever stepped foot inside the Quarian ships. Few outsiders, but there have been some, and in fact we're not even the first humans to set foot on the Migrant Fleet. Because Kaylee Sanders and Gillian Grayson, as well as that other security guy from Grissom Station, whose name I can't recall, set foot there in the novel Mass Effect Ascension, as well as all of the Cerberus troops who tried to blow the Adena up. They also set foot there, but they're probably less happy about that. And in fact, I think Gillian Grayson and the security guy are still on a Quarian ship at the moment, although that ship is probably not with the fleet. The decisions you make in Mass Effect 2 could have dire ramifications in Mass Effect 3. They're not wrong, I have to say. They're often subtle things, but there are some things you can do in this game that you would really regret later. Okay, of course we have to take Tali on this mission. And I think I'm going to take Kasumi. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter who you take in terms of dialogue, because as far as I know, no one says anything. The only person who has dialogue on this mission is Tali. The other person just kind of stands there, which is a shame, because originally I kind of wanted to bring Garrus because I thought, well, they're both Dextros, they're both friends. Would be nice for him to see the Migrant fleet or whatever, but since he doesn't comment, it doesn't really matter that much. And Kasumi is a slightly better squad member. Not that Garrus is bad for this mission, but we don't really need a sniper, I happen to know. Kasumi is just slightly has the edge here. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Besides which, I haven't used Kasumi on any major missions in a while. And Garrus, I have used him several times. Of course, we're going to unlock energy drain for Tali here, so no points for her, no points for Kasumi, and I don't have any points. So that makes things easy.
This is Talizora Vasnima Naraya, requesting permission to dock with the Raya.
Our system has your ship flagged as Cerberus. Verify.
After time adrift among open stars, along tides of light and through shoals of dust, I will return to where I began.
Permission granted. Welcome home, Talizora.
We'd like a security and quarantine team to meet us. Our ship is not clean.
Understood. Approach exterior docking cradle 17.
Captain Shepard, Talizora told me a lot about you. I wish we could be meeting under more pleasant circumstances.
I never actually reached the rank of captain. Technically, I'm no longer in the Alliance military at all.
You're the commander of the Normandy, responsible for the lives aborted. That entitles you to respect among our people. May you stand between your crew and harm as you lead them through the empty quarters of the stars.
Kila Salai. It's an old ship captain's blessing, Shepard.
In that case, thank you. Kind of reminds me of Commander Keen. I seem to recall he hated it when people called him Captain Keen.
Tali helped the Normandy's crew out of many difficult situations. I'm here to return the favor.
I understand. As the commander of the vessel she serves on, your voice carries weight. I wish I could do more to help Tali. The trial requires that I be officially neutral, but I'm here if you need to talk. They're charging you with bringing active Geth into the fleet as part of a secret project.
That's insane. I never brought active Geth aboard. I only sent parts and pieces.
You sent Geth materials back to the Migrant fleet?
Yes, my father was working on a project. He needed the materials. If I sent back something that was only damaged, not permanently inactive, no, I checked everything. I was careful.
Technically, I'm under orders to place Talizora under arrest pending the hearing. So, Tali, you're confined to this ship until this trial is over.
Thank you, Captain.
Preparations got underway as soon as you arrived. The hearing's being held in the Garden Plaza. Good luck.
Okay, well, at least we know what Tali is charged with now. Bringing Geth into the fleet. I sincerely doubt she'd be that stupid, so I'm guessing there must be something else going on. Either they're wrong, or someone is trying to frame her or something. Or there was some kind of horrible mistake somewhere. The bit in the beginning where Tali gives the code phrase to verify that it's her is also something that's mentioned in the novel Mass Effect Ascension. Apparently every Quarian that leaves the Migrant fleet is given two phrases, one which verifies that it's them, the other basically means open fire on this ship immediately, which means that if somebody tries to torture them for their phrase, they can just give the wrong one without endangering the fleet, or if they get coerced on a ship to try and get them close to the migrant fleet, they would also be able to give the wrong one. Of course, that would result in their own death if they were on the ship. But I think most Quarians would sacrifice themselves for the migrant fleet quite willingly, considering their culture. The other bits where she asked for security and quarantine team, that's also kind of sort of a ritualistic thing, in that they never actually really search the ships that arrive, but it's still expected that you ask for it. It's considered impolite if you don't. Alright, I guess we'd better go and see what this hearing is all about.
You should speak with Admiral Ran. She's waiting for you up ahead.
Okay. So this is the Quarian fleet.
I can't believe they're charging Tali Zora with such a thing.
Neither can I. This is actually the ship where Tali was born, Alerai. I think it's one of the live ships. As such, it has more open space than most of the ships in the migrant fleet. A lot of them are just converted freighters and things like that, where cargo bays have been converted into living space by adding cubicles, basically. From what I've heard of it, it would make my living quarters here in Tokyo seem roomy. Even here.
Tali Zora can't even get a Quarian captain to stand for her. She's as good as convicted.
Why wouldn't the captain of the Nima stand for her? Because that's, I mean, she is crew of the starship Nima, isn't she? Anyway, even here you can see that they're kind of trying to optimize the space by having these nets for additional storage space on the ceiling. Every centimeter counts on the migrant fleet. And hey, look, it's a Normandy. Not surprising.
Loyalty to the fleet is about more than just killing her. Tali Zora is guilty.
Hey, you take that back! And there's Alerai.
Tali Zora of us, Normandy. I am glad you came. I could delay them only so long.
Auntie Ron, Shepherd Vas Normandy, this is Admiral Alerai Vas Tonbe. She's a friend of my father's. Wait, Ron, you called me Vas Normandy.
I'm afraid I did, Tali. The Admiralty Board moved to have you tried under that name, given your departure from the Nima.
I have a feeling that's not a good thing.
I take it being associated with the human ship is a bad sign.
They stripped me of my ship name. That's as good as declaring me exiled already.
It's not over yet, Tali. You have friends who still know you as Tali Zora Vas Nima. Whatever we must call you legally.
You're an admiral. Does that mean you're one of the judges?
I'm afraid not. My history with Tali and her father forced me to recuse myself.
I imagine father had to do the same.
You'll see inside, Tali. For my part, I moderate and ensure that the rules of protocol are followed, but I have no vote in the judgment.
Sounds like everybody who might have been on Tali's side is forced to recuse himself. Admiral Ran, her father, the captain of the Nima isn't allowed to do his say either. And the captain of the Raya also has to remain neutral, as he just said. So, who does that leave? And so the rest of the Admiralty Board can be persuaded, or maybe we don't really know what they think at this point.
I guess we should get started. Does Tali have a defense counselor? Someone who speaks for her side?
Indeed she does, Captain Shepard. She is part of your crew now, recognized by Quarian law. And remember, an accused is always represented by his or her ship's captain.
So, you would actually speak for my defense?
I'm tempted to say that it's a terrible idea. Shepard's not exactly the most diplomatic of people. But, on the other hand, he can basically charm his way out of everything, so...
I'll do everything in my power to help you, Tali.
Thank you, Shepard. I could not ask for a better counselor.
Our legal rules are simple. There are no legal tricks or political loopholes for you to worry about. Present the truth as best you can. It will have to be enough. Now come. I promised that I would not delay you.
One of the rare open spaces on Quarian ships.
This conclave is brought to order. Blessed are the ancestors who kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season. Keep us alive. The accused Tali of Normandy has come with her captain to defend herself against a charge of treason.
Objection! A human has no business at a hearing involving such sensitive military matters.
Then you should not have declared Tali crew of the Normandy, Admiral Chorus. By right as Tali's captain, Shepard must stay.
Objection withdrawn.
Should have thought of that before.
Shepard was Normandy. Your crew member Tali Zora stands accused of treason. Will you speak for her?
What's the point? It's kind of, it's a stupid thing to say. Like I said, Shepard can charm his way out of everything. Or intimidate, if you're going that way, but I'm not.
If it helps Tali, I will. But in her heart, she remains Tali Zora Vas Nima, a proud member of the Migrant fleet. I regret that our captain is forbidden to stand at her side today.
Nobody has been forbidden from anything. It is a simple...
Lie to them if you must, Chorus, but don't lie to me and expect me to stay silent. The human is right.
Admirals, please. Shepard's willingness to represent Tali Zora in this hearing is appreciated. Tali, you're accused of bringing active guests to the Migrant fleet. What say you?
How could Tali have brought guests to the fleet while serving on the Normandy?
To clarify, Shepard, Tali isn't accused of bringing back entire units, only parts that could spontaneously reactivate.
But I would never send active guests to the fleet. Everything I sent was disabled and harmless.
Then explain how Geth seized the lab ship where your father was working.
What?
What are you talking about? What happened?
As far as we can tell, Tali, the Geth have killed everyone on the Alerai. Your father included.
What? Oh, Keela.
And you just dropped that bit of information in the middle of the hearing? Damn bastards!
I appreciate the need for this trial, Admirals. But right now, our first concern must be the safety of the Migrant fleet. The Normandy stands ready to assist in whatever capacity necessary.
Thank you. Quarian strike teams have attempted to retake the ship, so far without success.
Shepard, we have to take back the Alerai.
The safest course would be to simply destroy the ship. But if you are looking for an honorable death instead of exile...
I'm looking for my father, you Boshtet!
You intend to retake the Alerai from the Geth? This proposal is extremely dangerous.
We've faced Geth before. I doubt it could be worse than the assault on the Citadel or anything like that.
With your permission, Admirals, yes. The good of the fleet must come first. And Tali needs to find her father.
Agreed. And if you die on this worthy mission, Tali, we will see that your name is cleared of these charges.
We can discuss that later.
Then it is decided. You will attempt to retake the Alerai. You are hereby given leave to depart the Raya. A shuttle will be waiting at the secondary docking hangar. Be safe, Tali. This hearing will resume upon your return, or upon determination that you have been killed in action.
Thank you for agreeing to take back the Alerai, Shepard. The Admiral sounds sure that my father is already dead, but I don't know. We won't know anything until we get there.
How are you holding up? They just threw a lot of fire at you, even before telling you about your father.
I knew this would be bad, but I guess you're never really prepared to be charged with treason. And my father, I don't know. He could still be alive. They don't know for certain that he's dead. I just don't know, Shepard, and I need to find out.
I can sympathize with that. You have to remember, after all, Tali's mother died when she was 17. She has only one parent left, so not knowing whether he's alive or not can't be easy on her.
Is there anyone here you want to talk to before we go?
We can talk with the Admirals. It might help us to see what their viewpoints are. But I doubt we'll change anyone's mind by talking to them privately.
True, but it might give us information we can use after we come back, when the hearing resumes. I am assuming for the moment that we're going to survive this mission.
Let's go.
Right. The sooner we get to the Alerai, the sooner we'll know what happened.
Shepard, the secondary docking hangar is through the conclave chamber where you are now. The shuttle they have provided is unarmed.
Understood.
Whatever Geth are on the Alerai have likely built more of themselves. Expect heavy resistance.
I always expect heavy resistance. Let's start by talking to Alerai.
You set me up, Shala. You told Captain Donna not to say anything? I don't hear that my father may be dead until I'm in the trial? Why?
The Admirals needed to hear the shock in your voice, Tali. Otherwise, they might not have let you try to retake the Alerai. That is your best chance at recovering evidence that can exonerate you. I am sorry. We cannot afford sensitivity, Tali.
There is some sense in what she's saying, but still, it was a horribly insensitive thing to do.
I know you're trying to help her, Admiral, but that was over the line.
She has nobody else to speak for her, Shepard. I am doing everything in my power. That's what her father would have wanted.
Don't say it like that. He could still be alive on that ship.
You should get to the Alerai soon. Is there anything else I can tell you?
We can ask her about a couple things. For example, the ship we're going to.
What can you tell us about the Alerai?
Not much, I'm afraid. Real Zora only said that he was researching new defense technology.
He told me only that he needed any Geth parts or pieces I found. I assumed he was testing weapons on Geth components.
We knew nothing until the Alerai sent a distress signal, then went dead. We didn't even know about the Geth until a boarding team was attacked.
You're saying there's no data about the inside of the ship?
That's exactly what I am saying. The Marines who survived and escaped saw bodies in the halls. We must assume the worst.
No, we don't.
Could we at least have a floor plan or something? You must have that. You know, like actual military personnel would get before trying to infiltrate a location. Nah, that would be the sensible thing to do.
How long have you known Tali's family?
Since before Real was an admiral. 25 or 30 years, I'd guess. I was there when Tali was born. Her mother and I had synced up our suits so we could be in the same open-air room. I was sick for a week, but it was worth it. I was the one who took Tali from her mother and put her in the bubble. She cried so hard.
I don't understand. You put your children in bubbles?
Environmental units. It's a step between relying on the mother's immune system through nursing and getting a suit of one's own.
The bubbles let parents take their children out of the clean rooms safely. We don't wear suits until adolescence.
There's a celebration when a child gets her first suit. It's a coming of age.
I'm not hearing much about Rail's involvement in Tali's life.
It's difficult to explain. I shouldn't.
It's all right, Anshala. No secrets between shipmates. I think I told Shepard about my father.
If you say so. Real was committed to the Quarian cause. That didn't leave him a lot of time for his family. He wanted to give Tali and her mother the home world, or a strong fleet at least. That was how he showed his love.
Tali did indeed tell us about that before, in Mass Effect 1.
What kind of evidence will carry weight with the Admirals?
Tali, you admitted to sending Geth parts to your father for his project.
Yes, but never anything that could have come back online on its own. I took every possible precaution.
Then find records of your shipment and experiments. Something that proves you were careful. Something that proves that this is all just a terrible accident that nobody could have foreseen.
Now it seems there were some disagreements between the Admirals that did not directly relate to the hearing itself.
There seem to be some other arguments going on among the Admirals.
You caught that? Yes, the Geth's presence makes this a touchy issue. The Admiralty Board is trying to determine whether to focus on colonial development or attempt to retake the homeworld.
You're thinking of war? With the Geth?
I am not, Tali, but others are.
That sounds like a bad idea. I mean, when your entire civilian population lives in your fleet, risking them in an all-out war with an enemy that you really don't know all that much about strikes me as not very smart.
I know the Migrant fleet is formidable, but even you can't take on the Geth.
We grow tired of wandering the stars, Shepard. We want our world back. We have paid enough for our mistake. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm telling you which way the wind is blowing.
Okay.
We should move on.
Good luck on the Alerai.
I wonder what the other Admirals will have to say about that.